So I got asked a good question. Who had a better career out of Jim Thome and Fred Prime Dog McGriff? Stats are very interesting because Tome's got 600 plus home runs and McGriff almost had 500. They both were successful individual. They both had great postseasons. Um, when I think about Crime Dog, I remember I still go back to '93. I may have said it before. I'll say it again. When he went to Atlanta, that was a game changer. I remember that season. That's before they brought the wild card in and added more postseason. Because the Giants, they both won 100 games up, San Francisco and Atlanta. But he was a difference maker. He got them back to the show, and he was big time. He was the truth. McGriff was. I remember in Toronto. Sometimes a guy hits for power, stats, and for whatever reason, they just don't really hold him in high regard for whatever reason. There's so much politics involved. But he was, a strong hitter. Everything that he did, he was very distinctive. And I remember just like yesterday when I think about McGriff, I was thinking, yeah, McGriff was a bad dude. You know, wherever he went, he landed. And at the time, hit that ball, do your job, first base, etc., etc. So he did the thing. He was one of the toughest dudes as far as getting results. Then you get to Jim Tomei, and he's probably the reason why they have a speed count now, because that dude used to take like about 30 minutes just to wrap his hands up, come to the batter's box. But that stroke of his, I mean, we talk about it's real compact and the way he hits the ball, but it was effective though. And people forget how much of a power hitter he was because he did a lot of damage with Cleveland and other teams. And so, you know, um, these guys were very prolific, productive offensive forces. And so, there's always something that gets in the way why people are, reluctant about including when they talk about the all-time greats for different reasons. And so they were very explosive. I think that not being with distinctive teams is what hurt them. Because if you get traded around a lot, you kind of, unless of course you have a reputation as an all-time great player. It didn't work against Dave Winfield, and it didn't work against Reggie Jackson. There's certain players. In baseball, it's common. If you play long enough, you go around a few teams, even happen to Pete Rose. So, but sometimes for the life of it, you can't understand why they get ignored. You just really can't you can't even fathom that. It's like, how does that even make sense? So, you know, um, it's all about results in the business. That's what it comes down to. It's a result based business, and also it's about who could sell jerseys and who was an impact. And I think that both these guys were strong, powerful, and did things like that, but it didn't register on a what I call commercial level, and sometimes popularity. It's kind of like the Rafael Palmeiro syndrome. Numbers are crazy. So you could think and believe what you want, but his numbers are crazy. He is Hall of Famer, but there's nothing memorable that he necessarily did per se. But with Tome and McGriff, they were feared hitters. I mean, McGriff earned the nickname Crime Dog, and that was in a time when you earned your nickname. It wasn't like they just throw nicknames out like they do now for anybody. So anyway, that's my thoughts and my takes about those two players. And it's hard to say who I would say because they both had things that I liked about the other. But anyway, let me know what you think. Jim Tomey versus Fred McGriff. Who do you think was the better overall first baseman, better career, more impact? Please select, subscribe, welcome thoughts, comments, and I do respond. Thank you. Wash your hands. Keep your mind clear. Watch out for another shit if you like and hit that membership because when you do requests like this come true, stay safe, stay blessed, stay woke, stay free. I'm on peace.